Hey guys, this is Mike Cornell and this is Ed. He's one of my mentorship students, and wanted to bring him on here and ask him a couple questions and just get another student's insights out there that I've coached in the past, and this is a successful student of mine. So yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself, Ed.
What's up, guys? My name is Ed Florido. I've been in the DTS business for, let's say, about like a year and a half now, maybe a little more. But yeah, ran into Michael from a mastermind. Basically, been in all his programs mostly thus far. Pretty much, right? Like all the DTS ones. Join the mastermind. Join your private mentorship
Yeah,
for DTS at least. So
pretty
pretty
much.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, I wanted to I actually want to ask, because, we talk a lot, but I wanted you to tell
Yeah.
them about how you came back to DTS. Like when we first talked, because I think this is something good for the people to hear. But when we
Mhm.
first talked, I remember you said that you were doing another business and then
Yeah.
you came back to the DTS. So talk about
Yeah.
what happened there and then the transition back.
Yeah. So basically, I was doing the DTS business. It was going really well. And then COVID kind of hit, mixed things up a little bit. So I
Okay.
wanted to add like another source of income. That's kind of how it started. But
Uh,
then it kind of like once you're focused on something else, it kind of takes like a good chunk of your attention. And then it starts diminishing like what you were actually doing that was successful. So it just started to like slow down more and more because I wasn't focusing on it that much anymore.
mhm.
And my next venture that I was trying to do needed a lot of cash flow, and eventually I was just spending a bunch of cash and not really making any because like I was trying to get this new business up. So every time I needed cash, I would just go back to the test strip, make some money, and then go back to the other business. But then like I thought about it and it didn't really make sense because it was like this business is just like was so easy to just get back into and start making good money that I was like, why don't I just grow this instead?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I came back to it. So it was just like it just didn't make sense that I was trying to make some money off another business when every time I needed money, I'd come back to this business and like easily make it quickly. Because I still had clients and I still had like a lot of things. So it wasn't too difficult to just come back and start growing this.
Dude, that's funny, man. You know how many
Yeah.
times I've actually heard that from other people? They'll be like, yeah, I was doing this business and I was making good money. And then
Yeah.
I went and I tried this business and then I came back and then I went and tried this business. And yeah, like I even have done that on a small level too. Like I'll try new business adventures and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I should just keep building my diabetic product business. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I should just take all that energy and go to the
Hmm.
next step with my business. And every single time I do it, pays off times 10. So
Yeah.
it's just funny how that happens. It's just like it always people always come back like a ex-girlfriend, just always
Yeah.
come back to this one because it's a very reliable business. So
Yeah. And it's
um
easy. It's highly profitable. Like it's one
yeah.
of the best businesses you can get into, really.
Yeah, with the side when it comes to side hustles, you could
Yeah.
you can make this business a more than a main hustle for, very fast. You can do it,
Hmm.
within 6 months. If you
Yeah.
have the knowledge and you like really work hard, you could probably do it in 6 months. But if you have expert coaching, then you can go
Hmm.
a lot higher, faster. So
Yeah.
anyways, I just thought that was a good story for you to tell the people because it just goes to show you how reliable and profitable this business really is.
Yeah.
So okay, cool, man. Cool. So your background, you were an entrepreneur before. So tell me, when you
Yeah.
first started the DTS business, when you first came to me in the DTS business, what was your business like? I know you said you were going back and forth, but like, can you put a number on your DTS business? Like, how much were you making a week before, and how was your business set up? Like, was it
When
more
I
local? Was it more online? Like, go in.
Yeah. So when I first started, like when I first got in here, it was 100% local. Um, which was an issue for, well, not a big issue, but it was, after a while it started to become an issue just because like, at first you're just trying to get any deals you can. So local's perfectly fine. But then after a while, once you have that deal flow in and you want to sort of expand, the whole goal is to, work from home and not have to really leave, be out with some friends and still make money. That was the main thing for me. It was just like, because I come from phone flipping too, like a lot of people do that show up here.
Yeah.
And the only thing that sucked about phone flipping was one, like high capital for low profits, which was like the worst.
Yeah.
But number two, like if somebody had a phone and you were out, like you had to leave and go get it like that moment. Otherwise they'd sell it to someone else. So like it was just like a constant, like you didn't really have control of your time. Like someone can message you like, hey, I'm available at 8 p.m. Like meet me, and you have to go. So what I wanted was like I saw you, I think Tito, Greg, like the main people in the group, they were you guys were getting mail-ins, and I really wanted to learn how to get the mail-ins because like
For
they would
sure.
just come to your mailbox and like that was product. So I
Yeah.
think I was averaging locally like 2,000 a month
Okay.
on just local deals. So it was not that much, but at the same time, it wasn't like my full-time hustle at that time yet. So it was like just local deals. I was still doing like other hustles. So it was pretty good money for me.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, and yeah, I know you're a young guy. You live with your mom and stuff right now.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, so it works for you right now. So
Mm.
so you were doing about 2K a month. And
Yeah.
like how long did it take for you? Because you've done some 2K weeks um
Yeah.
with me, and that's starting to become a regular thing for you doing 2K
Yeah.
profit. How long did it take you to get to that point where you were actually doing 2K
From when
profit?
I started like in the mentorship, I
Yes.
think like my first week, I was pretty close to there, like literally the first week. Cause I got like,
Okay.
yeah, it was pretty much like the first week. And then from then on, it just kept growing and growing. And like I could still like it wasn't really a matter of like, could I? It was just kind of like if I wanted, it was mostly like a capital issue because like it was so fast and instant that I wasn't even ready for like the capital and like all the processes that are involved with so many transactions. Because like I said, you need to really keep yourself organized with like the people that are shipping, the people that haven't shipped, the people you've paid, the inventory you have. And so it was just like immediately like so many deals coming through that I was like, holy crap, I need to like, like tighten everything up real quick.
I got you.
So
Hey, give me a
yeah.
second, bro. I left my stove on. Just give me a second.
All right.
Making some eggs. 4 eggs. Gotta get my protein. All right, so good. So basically what he's saying is he came on board and he got the 2,000 quick. And guys, it's really not hard to hit $2,000 a week, you know, it really isn't. So it really like right, Ed. I mean, you've been in the DTS business for a while, and
Yeah.
this is another business, and I said this in the other interview too. It's like you can literally hit like a $500 deal, like or 600, 700 is very like you can hit that. You can hit two of those a week, and that is a
Yeah.
common thing. And like if you really like push it, you could easily hit 2,000 easily.
Mhm.
And that's the good thing about this business is once you get those customers, you start to get reoccurring revenue because they want to keep working with you. So
Yeah.
just want to explain to these guys, it's like just imagine you do like 2,000, you make $2,000 the first week, and you just average 2,000 profit for 4 weeks in a row. You're going to get a lot of those reoccurring customers back every single month. So the next week won't be as hard. I mean, the next month
Yeah.
won't be as hard, and it just will keep on. The momentum will just keep going and going. Um, and I'm sure that you've really experienced that. Can you like share something? Can you share about that for your business and how you've seen that?
Yeah. I actually got a story from like when I was talking to you about it last time.
Yeah,
So yeah, what you were talking about, like, so when I said like that first week, that was like 100% new business, like all new people. So it
yeah,
wasn't any of my old clients or anything like that. And So I did that off a whole new business, and that was like the first week. And then I think like a few weeks later, once I started hitting up the repeats, and like for whatever reason, all the repeats hit me up in the same day. So like, and
Yeah.
there was I was like not really doing anything besides responding to text messages. I think I was even at the mall, like responding to text messages of all these people that like had product.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was not even a 2K week, it was like a 2K day because of how many like repeats came out. And they
Yeah.
all hit me up on the weekend for some reason, like on a
Love
Friday.
it. Yeah.
And it was crazy, man. It was like so many text messages, but like that's when I saw the real power of repeats, because it was like all these, and I didn't like, because you could be like, it's just text messages really, because it's like
Yeah.
you're just kind of negotiating and closing deals. But repeats are the best because like you don't have to worry about if the product's bad, because they're typically selling you brand new stuff that they just got.
Yeah.
They know your prices, they know your address. It's just as simple as like, hey, I have more. And I'm like, cool, I'll send you the payment, and
For
it's
sure.
done. Like that's really all it is. So it's like that's the real goal here, is just to keep nurturing those relationships and keep rolling it over month after month until these people are you're like their go-to, where they wouldn't sell anywhere else. Like they're not even really price shopping. They're just like, hey, I have more, I have more, I have more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a good relationship.
For sure. Yeah. That is the power of it, man. I love repeats. Repeats are, yeah, they're the, like
Yeah.
when you get in this business, like for the people that are watching right now, like that is like the backbone of your business. Most of my business is all repeat. And the more you just keep doing better business and better business over time, the easier it is. And you just like, I don't know, it's just so simple. Um,
Yeah.
it really is. And just like you said, I remember, when it was me and just one virtual assistant, just like you,
Mhm.
I would, in the beginning, I would have those days and I'd be like, hell yeah, because it was like, there's repeat days and then there's days where you're hustling, like to make,
Yeah.
at like $600 for the day. So you hit your 2000 for the week, right? So, but it was nice when you had that point where it was like, oh yeah, I already got from all the repeat business, all my customers, you just get those like
Yeah.
exactly like those 2K days. Um, and yeah, so like I love that. I love that. And yeah, so before you were doing about 2K a month, and immediately just by applying like certain strategies and techniques, you're able to generate new business and then also start making, close to, you were making right out of the gate, you were close to making $2,000. And now
Yeah.
you're, I mean, does 2000 even feel like a lot to you now anymore, or is it just like normal?
No, it's super normal now, because like
Yeah.
it's kind of like most clients, sometimes you can do like half of that off of one client. So it's like the rest is just bonus pretty much. And like I don't know, like if you're not like, that's almost like something I would get from a single repeat almost now. Like
Yeah.
just because there's some clients that have a bunch of product for some reason, but they'd always sell to you. So
Yeah.
hitting that weekly is kind of not too much of a struggle anymore because of how much business I've built up and repeats and clients. And we have really good systems now too as well. So it's kind of just like the average almost.
That's awesome. I
So
love
it's
that.
yeah.
Good for you, man. That's great. Um, so so now, okay, so you bring up a good point. Like you're really because the next question I wanted to ask you is what, like, was there anything special that you realized, or like what was like, was there any like point in time where you were like an aha moment, or like something that you want to share with them that you realized during this doing this mentorship process?
It was just how important like a good acquisition system is, and then implementing a virtual assistant that could help you. Like if you're putting in right now, let's say 4 hours a day, which is like part-time into your business, like, and you're doing pretty well for yourself, like you can imagine what
Mm,
somebody putting in eight, or if you have, that's if you have one assistant, 8 hours every single day on top of your work. It's
right,
like it's crazy, because it's like you're saving and these assistants, like you said, it's not just like a, like people think kind of virtual assistants do like minimal tasks, but like virtual assistants can basically run your whole business for you. It's like they're like, my assistant's really really good at what she does. So
that's awesome.
like that thing that was like the biggest thing is just how to leverage other people's time as well, and
Mm,
like have good systems in place where if it's flowing really well, like because the main thing, like I came back to this business because I wanted cash flow for another business. But
mm,
if you really want to venture off to different things, then you have to have a good system that like basically works without you. Because as soon
right.
as you leave, you can't have things breaking down or deals not being made. Like you need to make sure that you have like a way, like a good machine running, um, before you leave. Which I messed up because I left when I was like, well, it was just me. And now
Yeah,
I feel like I could leave way easier because I know I will still be making like all my deals and everything will still be running.
that's awesome.
So that was the biggest thing right there. Is just how important assistants and systems are.
Yeah, I remember that we connected on a call, like a paid call a
Yeah.
while ago. Or what? No, it wasn't a paid call. It was just you were in the mastermind. So I just was we just talked. And that's I think is when I just was like really implementing VAs, like really
Yeah.
starting to really hit it. Like I think I had like two or three at that point, and I think we just talked on the phone or something or messaged, and you
Mm.
implemented fucking fast, and
Yeah.
and I remember that, and you were getting crazy good results too.
Yeah.
So
That was what I was saying. That was like the biggest eye opener because at the time, I don't think you had your mentorship yet or anything. So
uh-uh.
I knew you were just doing a bunch of deals. So like I have to ask this guy what he's doing and just implement anything that he's doing because it's obviously working. And
Yeah,
you're all like, "Oh, I have a virtual assistant," and I was like, I don't know," but I was like, "Well, I'll try it out."
that's
And I mean, that was like one of the biggest things that changed everything because I was like I
yeah,
said, somebody can consistently put in those hours for you where you're like, we can't really be as consistent sometimes because
yeah.
we're doing all these other things. But somebody whose job is to do those tasks that you would be doing every single day consistently for 8 hours, it's like game changer.
For sure, man. For sure. Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, there's no way I could, my God, the amount of work that gets done every single day is
Yeah.
and just your virtual assistant. Well,
Yeah.
I got six, and I'm
I know. That's
actually
crazy.
working with eight people all the time. So, bro, like, they all put in mad time, just a
Hmm.
lot of fucking time. So, there's no way I could do all that. And
Yeah.
the reason why I got a virtual assistant was because in the beginning I was doing all that. And
Mm.
that's when I started. So that was also a big eye opener for me, just getting into the world of it was the second time I used a virtual assistant. But the
Mm.
first time I hired one I wasn't very productive, and I was still being a lone wolf, kind of like
Yeah.
them doing the work and then I was doing my own work. So, but like you said, one of the big eye openers for me was just doing being more team oriented and like being a true leader, giving them a system um,
Yeah.
that was like huge, and yeah, I'll never ever go back to being a lone wolf ever.
Yeah.
I will never, even if I go into another business, I'll always have some kind of somebody working for me, somebody leveraging somebody else's time, and
Yeah.
well, you know what I'm saying, OPM, whatever. So yeah, so that's cool. So just let's talk about the mentorship really quick again. So when it came to the VA process, what was it like for you for what was your as a customer, what was your experience with how I brought the virtual assistant in? Like, can you just talk about that?
Yeah. So I also have a story. So like when we first connected,
Uh,
yeah, you would just told me to get an assistant, and I just did it, and then I kind of went off on my own and tried to figure everything out, like, like hiring,
oh,
managing, what to do. Like it was all on me, but I just knew like you kind of gave me like the general idea of it. So I just ran with it and it worked really, really well. But then, after a while, there's a process to finding good VA. There's a whole process to everything. So it was pretty much butchered when I did it by myself, but
yeah.
um, it worked for a while at least. And then I remember I got into contact with you and you're all like, dude, this assistant is not doing that great of a job. And we had to organize a bunch of stuff. And ultimately I ended up letting her go because she just wasn't doing the task. So when I connected with you, you found me my current assistant, and we popped on calls together, me, you, and my assistant, and
Mm,
I've connected with your assistants, and we've gone through a lot of training, a lot of processes, and I mean, right out of the gate, she's already like 10 times better. Like you can tell the difference between
mm,
an assistant that's like really high quality, like works really hard, is very interested in your business. And another thing you mentioned, a little
sure.
tip, was like, you know, if you bring someone on, you want to bring them on full time because you want them to be dedicated to your business. Because my last assistant, I
Mm,
was kind of like scared to put her in full time, and especially I didn't even have like the right processes to like have her work full time, which is another thing was why it's important. You got to make sure they're doing the right task for the amount of hours you're paying them, and
yeah.
I wasn't really utilizing that fully. So
Mm,
she had two jobs, and one for me and one for the other one, and it kind of got mixed up. And I think that's why the quality of work went down and down and down and down.
mm,
So also getting someone on full time was like another game changer. Because like, yeah, you really want someone just to be a part of your team, like
for
for the long run.
Yeah, because I remember that you had the your other assistant on for like 4 hours a day, I think. But you were
Yeah,
still doing good though. I remember that you were still
yeah,
doing well with that. So I mean, that just goes to
mhm,
show you like you already had it in you. That's why when I talked to you about this mentorship, I was like, oh dude, he already know that you're like, if I could just teach him a little bit more, he can
yeah.
easily start crushing it.
Mhm.
And that's why I reached out to you about it because I knew you were like a perfect candidate.
Yeah, that was already working with the assistants and stuff like that. I basically already knew what it entailed because I had gotten it from you originally. But
Yeah.
now you release like the full one-on-one stuff, and that really helped out because like I said, the assistant I have right now is really good. Like even if I hop onto a new business, eventually I'm bringing her with me. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
she's
I'll
a
be
good
like
worker.
that. I'll take all my assistants to anything I ever do, probably.
Yeah,
But yeah, hopefully this venture lasts for a long time. But
yeah,
anyways, yeah, so I mean, just to pretty much what he shared is like, the way that I bring assistants on is usually we interview and then we have videos for our assistants to train. So when we put the new assistant on, it was actually funny. She was in this industry already, I believe, right? Was she?
I think she was a referral from one of your assistants or something
Oh,
like that.
okay, that's right, Mitch. You got Mitch. That's right.
Yeah, Mitch.
So Mitch. Okay, okay, different lady. But anyways, when we brought her on, we already had this process. We knew how to train her to put her right into your systems to know exactly what she would be doing right when she got in the system. So we have all the training ready. And I'm just sharing to the people that are listening right now.
Yeah.
So I have all the training ready for the virtual assistant to just hop in your system so that they can start being productive really, really fast. And
Mhm.
what I do is I show the training to whoever is doing my mentorship as well, so that they can coach. If something happens, they can coach the virtual assistant. But anyways, the way that we interview, like at this point we know who is good and who isn't. And yeah, so we knew that she was good. Another really good tip for people out there, and for you too, Ed, if you want to hire more virtual assistants, I know you probably will in the future. um
Yeah.
what we found is that referrals always are like 10 times better than hiring cold. So good people usually good virtual assistants usually know other good virtual assistants. And that's what I found. Because I have a course where you can look for people, and I would just suggest
Mhm.
this for like new people. If you want to do low budget and get your own virtual assistant and not be used by another company, for that course you could easily hire your own, but you might have to go through a couple people your first time. Or you could get lucky, and then the second person I interviewed was just off the charts, really, really good. But the best way to hire a virtual assistant is definitely referrals. So
Yeah.
anyways, okay, so basically what you realized was that the systems and the virtual assistant really made everything actually have stability. So
Yep.
the systems and the delegation of tasks gave your business long-term stability and consistency. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It kind of pretty much brought it out from like a side hustle into a business, because at that point you're managing people now, you're managing systems. Like it really turns the side hustle into a business when you have like even if it's just like one assistant, it's still like the difference between what I was doing when it was a side hustle compared to when I have somebody that I need to like teach it and all these processes when we're getting more volume, it completely changes it. Like there's so much more that you need to
yeah,
learn now. There's different skill sets you need to learn now.
yeah.
So I think,
What skill sets do you think that you need to, what skill sets do you think you learned just by,
well, it's because like, yeah, sometimes you think that like you're doing something, and you kind of start getting so used to it that you don't really think of it in a sense of a process. You know, like for getting deals, you kind of know already how to get deals, but when you're teaching it to someone, you have to really break it down into a process, like so they can easily replicate what you're doing. So
yeah,
like even when like if your assistant is you have to teach her, like she doesn't know the products yet, right? She doesn't really know the business. So and you already know by the top of your head how much like one touch ultra goes for, how much.
right.
So like you know all these things in your head, but you need to learn how to put that on a piece of paper so that somebody can read it and really understand how to also get it in their head, and eventually they will start learning it just as well
Yeah.
as you, and then you really duplicate yourself that way. So
Yeah,
you got to
that's one of
learn.
the things I learned from you too a lot. Like I noticed that because I knew about that concept actually,
Mm,
but I forgot what we were talking about on one of our calls, but I realized that you really fucking really knew this. Like you really knew, actually, you really knew how, like you already knew how to do this in a way to me, you
yeah.
know, because the way you talked about it, I remember our first couple
Mm,
calls, I was like, dude, this guy's he's gonna get it like quickly. He already
yeah.
understands it. And I think it's because you have other business experiences too that kind of helped you out. But yeah, you
Mm,
basically teach your virtual assistant step by step, like as if you were explaining it
yeah.
to like a kindergartner, and
Yeah.
really you can train anybody like that, So
Mm,
um, I think like that is just, I just think that's monumental. There's this, what's that one guy? The one guy, what is it? Uh, the Leonardo movie. What is that? Um, the
Wolf of Wall
salesman,
Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
He said
Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort, the way he trained him,
Yeah.
he said he could train anybody. This is kind of like where I
Yeah.
got that concept. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
he could train anybody because he knew how to break everything down in a
Mm,
bite size so that literally he could make like average guys
mhm.
millionaires fast. And I think,
Yeah.
that's like the same kind of concept is like if you can break anything down, like you and teach it to somebody, like you can
Mm,
really help them. So, yeah, that's a whole other
yeah.
course to do, but it's phenomenal. So anyways, okay, cool, man. Do you want to say anything else about like just what are the benefits of having the system, or um you know like what are the benefits of having all that stuff for you?
I mean, the main benefit is, like I said, like you don't, you there becomes a point where you can't just be hustling for every single deal. You know, you got to have systems in place where, because you can't be at 100% every single day. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes you need to step out,
For
and
sure.
so it's super important to have these systems where you could have the luxury of stepping out and having it run still continually. And again, you need the skill set to do that, because if you don't build it right, then it'll fall apart without you, which is what you don't want. You want it to be
Yeah,
able to run without you. And if
for
you built a good system and you hired good people and you trained them well, then you will be able to step out and it should run without you. And it's really important because like as
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, we want multiple streams, we want to venture off to different businesses, we want to do this and that. But in order to do that, you got to first have one really good business that's solid. So you have the opportunities to jump out and pursue other things. So I think that's the main key thing here is that this business and your mentorship has that opportunity so that you could start building cash flow and quickly so you can invest into other things if you want or stick with this because this is a really all in one like most people teach you how to do a side hustle, but it's different because it's like this is a real business that you're building in a way, like a
Yeah,
real automated business that you could
for sure.
have it run at all times. So
Dude,
it's a really solid foundation.
dude, absolutely, bro. You hit so many different good points. Like, like, yeah, the systems and the virtual assistants really make it a business. I mean,
Yeah,
imagine like Apple, they have like 100 people or more, thousands of people putting in 60 hours a week on
yeah,
their business. Like, I just was like, wow, that's a crazy concept. Like,
yeah.
thing. And like businesses don't get big just by one person. So it's
Mhm.
like if we want to go to the next level, we got to give up this whole thing. Like I got to do it myself and I got
Mhm.
to be the number one. It's got to be my way.
I
And
think a lot of people are scared to also like, oh, I have to pay someone now, like taking money out their profit. But it's
yeah,
like, I don't think they understand how much like somebody could bring in versus what they put out. So it's like
the ROI is crazy.
the ROI is super crazy. Like if you actually put it on paper and you actually see how much this person is making you, it's like it's not even close to an expense.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. VAs are just needed. Like, yeah, anything I do in the future, I'm always
Mhm.
gonna have this same kind of structure, most likely. And um
Yeah.
because it's just vital. Um,
Hmm.
so let me ask you, man, like now you like obviously you're making more money. Like what are your plans? Because we ended our mentorship. What are your plans moving forward?
So like I said, it's pretty much running really well now. I would like to add more assistants and get that going even further. Just I still every day you're still tightening up your processes a little more and a little more, getting more and
Yeah,
more efficient each day as you learn. New problems always come up. That's just business every day. So like you just want to quickly adapt to them and quickly make a system for it. Like we were talking about just before this call.
exactly.
Sometimes things just happen and as soon as something happens you kind of almost have to record it so that when an assistant comes in they know exactly how to handle it and then that's done, like
Right.
on to the next. So it's
Yeah.
just every day implementing. But like I said, I want to have multiple streams, so my next goal is probably once I have this one a little more dialed in, we're doing good numbers to the point where I feel like we're on a really good streak with a lot of good people involved.
Mm,
I think then would be the time that I could start trying new things. But I mean, the systems and VAs that I learned just duplicates to the next business. So just
absolutely.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably the goal from there.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's not about like it's not always about like making it's not always about like sticking to one thing. Like you can do
Yeah,
other things as long as your base is running, and
yeah. That's the main point. The base.
yeah, you're making solid money. Like, so I'm all for like trying new ventures out and
Hmm.
but never keeping your eye off the ball here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So yeah, I think, as an entrepreneur, we're very creative at the same time. So
Mhm.
we like to try new things. So um yeah, I'm for like having fun, I really am.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm also for viciously building my current business too. So
Mhm.
uh, that's just the way I am. That's the way I'm built. So nah, that's great, man. So okay, man, let's wrap this up.
All
So
right.
um, for somebody that what would you suggest to somebody that's thinking about doing the mentorship? What would you tell them? Um,
Yeah. So if they're on the fence about the mentorship, it's like I don't know where else. I honestly don't know where else you would find all this information in one. And
Yeah.
like I said, it's not even, I don't even think this is just skill sets for DTS. Like it's skill sets that transfer on to the next business, because what you're really learning in the real process here is basically how to build like an acquisition machine, how
Right.
to build systems and implement virtual assistants, and that can be replicated to multiple businesses.
Mm,
Once you learn how to do it, like these are valuable skill sets that just transfer to business to business. In this particular mentorship, it's specifically for DTS, but it's like I said, like you can transfer it to any other business. On top of that, it's like if you really want to go from side hustle to business and really start hitting bigger numbers, and this is what you need. Like it's just no question about it. You're not going to get there not doing this stuff. So,
yeah.
and of course, Michael knows all the ways. So
Yeah.
he's been doing this for a long time. And like I said, just with some small advice that he gave me, it blew up my DTS business. So this is just that plus 10. So if you're on the fence, like I don't know what else I could tell you besides like you either go big or go home, because it's like if you want to move from side hustle to business, this is it. So
Yeah, totally, man. You know, and like I said, I wasn't surprised by you
yeah.
getting the results that you got, because I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it. I knew it for you. I know the process too well.
Mhm.
So, and then at the same time, I know, you, and I know that, like, I just knew you were going to do good. So, yeah, man, I'm proud of you and I appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks, man.
You know, yeah, man. So, oh, another thing I wanted to touch on really quick was
Yeah.
I actually came out with a CRM course that shows
Oh,
people
okay.
CRM. I don't know if I told you.
You told me you
But
were in the process of making it
yeah,
when
I
we were on
finished
calls. Yeah.
it. I finished
Oh,
it.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, it really touches on a lot of the stuff, building a structure with your
Yeah.
CRM and different sales and marketing strategies. And I'm
Mhm.
like showing people how they can do that with any business. So I'm glad that you bring
Yeah.
it up. So guys, if you're low on cash and you want to get like a course that will show you how to build a structure and um, create exactly like you said, an acquisitions machine,
Mhm.
this course is definitely for you. So anyways, all right, man, well, I appreciate your time,
Yeah,
and
man.
we'll talk probably tomorrow, man.
Man, for sure.
All right, bro, thank you.
All right, man. Later.
Later.